It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. Shout to the Trucker John live stream, on a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. The Trucker John live stream is gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest brother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing.
It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch him out, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Forgot my mic. As I was saying, I wasn't just eating lunch. You didn't catch me in mid-bite. Anyhow, hey, here we go. This is the afternoon show. A little pre-show, a little House Parks pre-show. I'm just seeing that everything look okay. I guess we're lined up okay. Okay, yeah, it's all right. It just looks like I'm lower down in the shot than I was earlier. And I don't think I changed anything. Except my shirt. I changed my shirt. But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, Vicky Gingras is here. Good to see Vicky. Tim Nelson is here, one of our Tims. Fancy. Never fear, Fancy is here. Let's see. I feel like it's on all messages. I feel like I didn't start at the beginning of the chat, but I'm scrolled up as far as I can. Boy, you guys are using those emojis. Thanks for doing that. Now let's see. This morning we were at 80 something degrees, 87 I think when we stopped. Now we're at 101. Here at 2:10 in the afternoon in the Pacific time zone of Las Vegas. Vicky says Western Michigan hot and humid. Stay cool, my friends. We got some heat waves coming. Gotta watch out for those heat waves. Let's see, Pisces Greeters here. Good to see Teresa. Thanks for being in the old Truckers Lounge as we hang out. Now, does anybody have any confirmation or whatever if Hal is starting at 3 or 4? I think it's 3 o'clock today. If you guys see that he comes on or he's not coming on or whatever, just let me know. And we'll just stay here till 4, I guess. Let's see, we got Alvin Stube coming back into the driver's lounge. Hugger Greeter says, gonna have hamburger and fries, not cooking today. Hubby picking up dinner. There you go. I just picked my dinner up, or my lunch, I guess. I went to Popeye's Chicken, had me some Popeye's Chicken. I wanted to get Cane's. I like Cane's better, Raising Cane's. But there was such a huge line, I would probably still be in the line right now. If I had done that. But anyhow, I want to, there's something, this is just bugging me. I gotta try to fix that a little bit. That's a little bit better. I just don't like being so low in the shot for some reason. It just bugs me. But we're all covered, right? Everything's covered. All right, so Mish is here. Hey, good to see Mish. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Carrie C is here. Hello again, everybody. Hello, Carrie C. Good to see you. Jupiter Judy is in the driver's lounge. Thanks for coming by. As we just hang out, we're just going to hang out and wait for Hal to come on. What do you guys think Hal's going to talk about today? What do you think? Eileen, California? I've had that talk with you before. Is it Eileen, California? Anyhow, I love this light show. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Hugger Greeter says, well, everyone have to get off, take care. Just wanted to say hello and send hugs. Well, thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming by for as long as you can, you know. Let's see here. Muted. Yeah, I was for the first 20 seconds. I don't think I am anymore. No audio. That's just how far behind I am in the chat. This is when you guys were telling me. That. Okay, yeah, too hot to cook. Hey, there's Julie Jones saying hi from Iowa. Well, welcome, Julie Jones. Julie Jones, I don't think I've ever seen you here before, so thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. Like and subscribe. And share the show. But yeah, hang out. We're just going to hang out for a little bit here and just shoot the shit. Like the theme song says, you know, talk a little shit. You know? Hey, Keith Polite says the Ten Commandments issue is dominating the afternoon news talk. I caught a little of that, mainly I guess on Randy Rhodes' show. I was watching Randy, and And I did see, because earlier I was saying, hey, where's the ACLU? I don't know specifically the ACLU. I'm sure they're going to get involved, but there was, or maybe I read a headline or something that stated that there's at least 4 of these, civil liberty, civil groups that are automatically suing this. But maybe that was their goal to begin with. Anyhow, just to get it, like Louisiana governor was just to get it into the court system so they can take it to this right-wing Supreme Court. So we'll see what happens. Jupiter Judy says, I'm making salads. Sounds good. Fancy says, yeah, the Supreme Court will be on his list for sure. Julie Jones loves my theme music. Thank you, Julie. Julie. That was created using AI. I wrote the lyrics and I put it in AI. I gave it some ideas of genre, a type of music, and then it spit out a bunch of stuff. And so those were a bunch of examples of it. And yeah, I think it came out pretty decent. Albert Stube, no Glenn Beck. Yeah, no, I don't. No Glenn Beck here. Beck, maybe. I like Beck. But no, not Glenn Beck. No, I don't like Glenn Beck. Eileen California says, I'm watching Nicole Wallace sharing highlights of new recordings of Trump admitting he lost. Yeesh. Yeah, pump those out. Pump those recordings out. Of course, the maggots would just go, oh, that's deep fake or whatever. Yeah, Keith Lee says ACLU is already involved. Yeah, I'm sure they probably just jumped right on that. Eileen Cause says, Mark Elias is on it. Suit is happening regarding Ten Commandment issue. Yeah. Mickey Gingras says, when my darling daughter was 7, she would have taken her school to task for posting the 10 Commandments. Wonder what the punishment will be. Now, was it on Randy's show, or what show was it? Oh, maybe it was Tom Hartman this morning. I don't know. I forget now. Or maybe it was Stephanie Miller. I'm mixing it all up. But they had a teacher on who said that he's not going to honor that. I guess he teaches in Louisiana. And he said he's not going to do it. So we'll see if that guy keeps his job or not. Hey, Jupiter Judy likes the music also. Thank you, Jupiter Judy. Jupiter Judy says, yippee, no Glenn. Oh, is that about what I was asking how I was going to talk about? And you said no Glenn, maybe? I don't know. Fancy, me too, good music. Hey, guys, I'm glad you like it, because I know that we used to have a person that would come in here and just complain about the music. Keith Police says, thanks for sharing it, Eileen Kaw. Another admission from Trump. Jupiter Judy says, Randy was talking about 10 Commandments. Yeah, she had the 10 Commandments on. And did she have the thing about the teacher who said he's not going to teach it? Or he's not going to post that 10 Commandments in his room, apparently. And so it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. Hey, there's Big Hook, the Big Canuck says, Louisiana or lose your sanity? Probably both. Louisiana. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Who was it? I was listening to all these shows, and Jupiter says yes. And people were saying, like, why don't they post? They should be required to put up the Bill of Rights. Let's do that. Let's make sure. The Constitution, it's not that long. You could put, you could break it up, and you could put the entire Constitution around the whole room. I'd rather see that than the 10 Commandments. Because like I said earlier, why not put something from the Quran, something from, all these other religions? What about the Church of Satan? Should they be allowed to post their version of the Ten Commandments or whatever they have? I guess it'd be, I don't know if they have I don't even know if they have a Bible or whatever they have, but I'm just saying, why just the Ten Commandments? Why not, all these other religions? Why should one religion be singled out over the other? There is supposed to be separation of church and state. There is supposed to be, a freedom of religion where we are free to worship as we please, and we shouldn't have the government favoring one religion over the other. In my humble opinion. Tawada 106 is here. I haven't seen Tawada 106 in a while. How about posting the Sermon on the Mount instead of the fecking Ten Commandments? Yeah, that would be good. But then still, that is coming out of the Bible. And I don't really think, I know we're all sort of being rhetorical and we're sort of throwing some stuff out here. But in all seriousness, I don't think there should be any religious sections of a religious book or anything like that hanging in a public school. Unless you're going to put all of them. But, this isn't a religious school. This is a public school. And it should be just about, teaching the important subjects that kids need to learn. And it's not just writing rhythm, not just reading arithmetic, also history, civics, art, all that stuff, music, it should all be there. But as far as religion is concerned, that's why you have church. And you and your parents or whatever can make those decisions to go to the church of their choice or not to go to church if they don't want to. But you don't do that at school. Now, I guess if you're going to a private school, like a Catholic school or whatever, that might be, that's different. When we're talking about public education, then religion shouldn't be pumped down your throat. That's what you do on your own time outside of school. You make those decisions. And when you're a little kid, it's going to be your mom and your dad are going to make that choice for you. That's just the way it goes. But it's not for the school to decide, hey, we're going to pump this religion down your throats. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Says Keith Police says we just pasted, or I think passed. We just passed the summer solstice, 3:50 Central Time. Happy solstice, everyone. A nice pagan holiday. Well, there you go. Vicky Drinker says right on TJ. Seha says it's going to end in lawsuits. Church and state. Yeah, I know, but how is this right-wing court going to, what are they going to say? Arlene Koss says if you want religion in your classroom, go to a private school, right? I just sort of touched on that. Leave the public alone. Jupiter Judy says, okay, so the teacher will go to court to get 10 Commandments deemed religion and not public school. Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. Big Hook says religion is personal, so why force it on anyone? See, we're all on the same page here, aren't we? Because you guys are saying just what I just said. If so, then make it possible for parents and kids to get exclusive waiver of any religious teachings. It shouldn't even be that way. I mean, it just shouldn't be there in the first place. Fancy says, sounds like a good occasion for a glass of lemonade. Now I want some lemonade. Earlier it was donuts. Now it's lemonade. Jupiter Judy listening, making dinner. Keith Police says the establishment cause of the First Amendment is very clear. Sometimes, I think there's a lot of things that are very clear in the Constitution, and yet it seems like it doesn't matter to some of these people. Tuata 106 says, let Christians stay in their churches. In public school, we teach children to be Americans. We teach them knowledge. We give them knowledge. We teach them how to write and how to read and how to do math. And we've got to teach them history, and we got to teach them civics and government classes. We got to let them have artistic, is it venue? We let kids learn about art, not only about like art appreciation, where you look at, that's kind of more like history, but actual art where you actually draw and paint and sculpt. And we need to have music. Okay, where kids can learn how to play music and learn instruments and learn just all that stuff. We need to have full-rounded education. It needs to be education, this isn't about, church. This isn't about religion. Like I say, you do that on your own time. You don't do that in a public school. Public school should be about a well-rounded education. So that when you're 18 and you graduate, that diploma you get actually means something. It's actually worth the paper it's written on. And it might actually help you get somewhere. And hopefully go to college or go to a trade school or and learn a trade or whatever it is you want to do. But at least have a good, well-rounded public education, K through 12, right? Looks like we got Donna O here. I guess I might have skipped Donna. Hey, there's Donna O. Hello, everybody. Hello, Donna O. Matthew Hannon's here. Hello, Matthew. Good to see Matthew in the old driver's lounge. We got 39 watching, 28 thumbs ups. Don't forget to hit that thumb up for me. It helps get the show out into the algorithm, apparently. And make sure you share the show and get us out there. We're at 1,860 something subscribers. Maybe we can get to 1,900. That'd be nice. Twata 106, lemonade, not Christianity. I believe in having lemonade at school. Occasionally in the cafeteria, have some lemonade available. Jupiter Judy, you will have parents up in a roar in Louisiana. Say how somebody start the church of Potent and carry Playboy in school. The Church of Potent? Big Hook. Next they will teach kids it's okay to get married to your rapist. I really hate these sick fucks. Yeah. They are sick. I agree. And I'm not saying that if you're religious and you're a Christian or whatever that you're sick, but I'm saying that the people that are pushing this kind of stuff, we know who they are. We know exactly who they are. They're the type of motherfuckers that try to act all high and mighty and all religious and everything. And then when they die, like that guy the other day that died who was 94 years old, he was leader of this big Baptist or Southern Baptist thing, right? And there's all these charges and stories coming out about all the people he raped and molested, and so that's the type of people we're talking about here. Mish says Texas didn't even pass that bill when they had it. Oklahoma and Utah as well. Jupiter Judy says civics needs to be brought back to teach about our government. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Keith Police says playing in a band like sports is a team activity that teaches all that participate. Yeah, it's all good. Sports. I played sports. I wasn't that great of an athlete, but I still played sports, and I had a great time. And some of my best memories of school is being in sports, and yeah, being in band, being in music class, taking there's all kinds of different art classes. Those are all important, and of course the basics, of reading, writing, arithmetic. I think history and civics are just as important as reading, writing, and arithmetic. But yeah. Ricky Gritter says, Mish, they truly are. The cult has made them ill. Let's see how laughing out loud porn. Maybe you meant blind? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you meant blind because it was a typo. Church of Porn, I guess, is what you were saying earlier. Mish says, first to birth your rapist child, he gets rights, forces to marry is not for church. Oh, yeah, they're doing that kind of shit, I think, in Texas. Yeah, like, already, I think. I think they are all looking for press time and attention. They want to out-Trump Trump. Or maybe this is a distraction from Trump. Maybe it's something like that. From all the Trump woes, he's down in the polls. He just got convicted of 34 felonies. He's on this really hard fade. Maybe this isn't a way of distracting from that a little bit. But it's not going to work because we can see him. He's still out there doing the rallies. And we can see how he's just, every time you see him, he looks worse. And he sounds worse. Matthew Hannon says, civic demonstration needs to be taught in schools. Mish says, sorry, tired, not wording things well. Hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Matthew Hannon says, some real world practice, maybe, if you will. Vicky Jingas, geology, or at least, if not geology, how about geography? We used to have that. We had geography, and we would actually literally have to name things out that were on the map, on the big global map. We had to name continents and countries. I don't even know if they do that anymore in school. As far as geology, I really didn't take geology until college, but I did take geology. I took U.S. geology in college. But geography more. I remember in school. Hey, there's Jolie. Hey, to everyone on the road but listening. Thanks for being here. I know you're really busy, and I hope your mom's feeling okay today. I know that radiology stuff can really take a lot of energy out of you. I mean, I don't know that personally, but I know from my dad. I mean, so hope your mom's feeling okay. Sehal says, Nolan Workman, there are assholes and bullies in every group when it gets larger than 10 people. Okay, yeah, that's probably, yeah. Eileen, California, I'm just going to say Eileen, California. 45 is dancing as fast as he can to stay out of jail. I personally don't think he will ever be jailed. I think he will. I think if he loses this election, I think he will. Yeah, so it probably wouldn't be till next year anyhow. Unless Marchand sticks him in jail for a little while for those violating the gag orders. I think he should stick him in jail for at least a few days, and even if it's just a local holding cell. It's not going to be, Rikers or whatever. Even if it's just some local little holding cell down at the Mayberry RFD jail cell. Stick his ass in jail for 3 or 4 days for violating those gag orders, man. Nolan Workman says, read Mark Twain on religion. Go to heaven for the weather or go to hell for the company. I don't think I've read that quote before. Eileen, California. That's the way it was in school in the olden days when I went. Yeah. I'm just looking back to see what you read about school. But anyhow, yeah, we definitely had some civics. Like in elementary school, I think we had some basic civics. But we certainly had history, and we certainly had good U.S. history going, even in elementary school. And then in high school, junior high and high school, it was even more advanced or whatever. And where we did have civics class, and we had government class, almost like a political science. I don't think they ever called it political science. I took poli-sci in college. In high school, and we had like government, and we had stuff like that, or they would have a civics section of certain classes, I guess, But in elementary school, I definitely remember having history. I remember writing reports about slavery. I remember our history books were kind of, this is back in the 60s now, mind you. But I remember seeing, pictures, like drawings or paintings that were in the textbooks that were from the slave era. And it showed, auctions, slave auctions. They talked about slave auctions. They talked about how a family could be torn apart. One buyer might buy the woman, the mother, and another buyer might buy the children, and these families would be ripped apart. It talked about all that kind of stuff. I remember reading that like in third, fourth grade. This U.S. history of slavery. They used to teach it. I guess now they would call that CRT. I don't know. Just the basic history of slavery in America would now be considered taboo. CRT or something. I don't know. Even though CRT, that is not what CRT is. It's CRT, critical race theory, is a law school level course that was taught at a couple of law schools. It's not being taught K through 12. It's a law school course. And it deals with how, I believe, if I remember right, how it was explained about how law affects, how the law is critical against race, or how it works against race, against people of color. How it's sort of systemic in the law system, the judicial system. And it's taught in law school. It's not taught in elementary school. It has nothing to do really with history, other than probably case law and examples of how people were being treated in the judicial system based on their color. You don't like my music, says, I like the idea of 2 years of mandatory civil service or making it part of a school curriculum. I like that too, but it's hard to mandate things when we are supposed to be a free society, a free country. I don't think you can make someone do something other than just follow the law. And if you made that a law, that'd be a law. But you know what I mean? I mean, we have laws. We are a nation of laws. And so basically we have laws that say you can't hurt other people. I think most of our laws are based on that, right? That's what speeding. You can't speed because you could run somebody over and wreck and kill them. You can't murder because that's hurting someone else. You can't, beat somebody up because that's hurting somebody else. You can't slander someone or libel someone because that could hurt their livelihood, right? But you can't make. I don't think you can make someone go into civil service we did have a draft, right? But that was for wartime. We don't have a draft anymore. But I don't think you can make someone do something. All you can do, you can punish people if they break a law, and like I say, most of the laws are designed to prevent you from hurting someone else. I think, and I know it's much more complex than that, and there are shelves and shelves and shelves full of laws, of law books and of all the laws in the books. So I know I'm very, very oversimplifying it. Nolan Workman says, I was in grade school in the 50s when the pledge came to be. Yeah, we had the Pledge of Allegiance, and I remember at some point, I think I was in junior high, I just stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance because I was tired of doing it. And I learned that there were kids that didn't have to do it. Like I had family members that were Jehovah's Witnesses, and I think they didn't have to do the Pledge of Allegiance if they didn't want to. So then I was like, well, I'm not going to do it. So I started not doing it. And I got some side eye. I got some weird looks, even from the teacher, but wasn't the goddamn thing she could do about it. That was in I think ninth grade. I remember saying, I'm tired of doing this stupid people. Not that I love my country, but I don't need to show you how much. I don't need to put on the show of pledging the allegiance to a flag like some sort of fucking Pavlov's dog that when you ring the bell, I'm gonna, start to drool and wag my tail because I think there's a treat coming. I don't need to fucking do the Pledge of Allegiance to show to you how fucking patriotic I am. That was my thought then, and that's probably my thought now. Although now, if I'm at some place and they do a Pledge of Allegiance, I'll put my hand on my heart. I'll take my hat off and put my hand on my heart, and I'll say it. But still, but it's because I don't do it every day. I was just getting sick and tired of every day starting off school doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was like, this is getting ridiculous. I don't need to show you. I don't need to put on some show about how patriotic I am. If you don't think I'm patriotic, then fuck you. You don't need to know. It's all about, it's going back to privacy issues, right? And personal issue, and personal freedom, personal liberty. I don't need to show you that I am so fucking patriotic because I stand in front of a flag with my hand over my heart, reciting this thing like a little robot. People talk about being robots. When I say, hey, vote blue no matter who, and then people will say, I'm not a robot, or I'm not a sheep. Well, you know what makes you look like a fucking sheep? Is when you just, day after day, as soon as the clock hits 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever when school started, you're up there saying the Pledge of Allegiance. If that doesn't say sheep to me, then I don't know what does. You brainwashed little sheep. I'm talking mainly to maggots and right-wing nut jobs. Tony TB's here. Fucking fam checking in. Hi everyone. Hey, Tony TB from the old over there from Tony Michaels. Tony Michaels viewer. Thanks for being here, Tony TB. Good to see you. Nolan Workman says Project 2025 wants a draft. There's a lot of shit they want. We need to get into that. We should start diving into that. I should get a copy of that 2025, that Project 2025, and I should start reading little excerpts of it. And we can just be ready for it. But you know what? We're gonna beat Trump. We're gonna beat him. We're gonna beat him like a drum come November. November is gonna save our bacon, I think. But still, we gotta vote. We gotta vote. We gotta vote. Let's see here. You don't like my music. Instead of making meaningless symbolic gestures to prove your patriotism, volunteer at an old folks home or a homeless shelter. Yeah, or a VA, like where there's a bunch of old veterans that need some help. That there's nothing probably more patriotic than that. Keith Polite says being compelled to say the pledge is the problem. Chris Welch says Illinois Representative Mary Miller said the quiet part out loud on January 6th. The Republican agenda is fascism in public schools. Seha says reciting the pledge ended after 4th grade in our hometown. In our hometown. Matthew Hannon says there's a new barbecue in town. Mission Barbecue, laughing out loud. Now I want barbecue. Thank you, Matthew. Although I did just eat some Popeye's chicken. You know what? I need to stop going there because I don't really like it. I like Cane's a lot better. But Cane's, like I said, it had a mile-long line. So I went over to Popeye's. And Popeye's, I used to really like Popeye's, but it's just too much breading. I don't like all that breading. I really prefer Kentucky Fried Chicken. I know a lot of people shit talk Kentucky Fried Chicken. I have no problem whatsoever with Kentucky Fried Chicken. Just getting, they used to have baked chicken. I used to get the baked, but even just their original, I'm fine with the original. You know, it's not too bready. You know, it's not too breaded. I think it's good chicken. I don't know why you guys shit talk Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'd rather go there than Popeyes. You know what? Just don't go to Popeyes anymore. You guys, please remind me, don't go to Popeyes anymore. I don't go there often. That's the first time I've gone there in a while. But every time I eat it, I'm like, well, it's not as good as it used to be, I don't think. Or maybe it is. It's just I've changed. But anyhow. I digress. Nolan Workman Barbecue is a food group. Matthew Hannon, they do the pledge at noon every day. Chris Wells, Church's Chicken. I've had Church's. I've had all that. You know what? From now on, I'm not gonna get Popeyes. I'm not gonna get Church's. It's either gonna be Cane's or KFC or a Pollo Loco. I like a Pollo Loco too. And I'm trying to remember, I think there is a El Pollo Loco not too far from here. I should just go there instead of Popeyes. Please, guys, somehow implant it in my brain to remind me not to go to Popeyes anymore. Go to either El Pollo Loco or KFC. Eileen Call says Popeyes has too much. Yeah, it's too much crusty stuff. Yeah, it's mostly that. Yeah, absolutely. You don't like my music? Says Kentucky Fried Chicken in the 1980s was delicious. Now it's almost inedible to me. I don't know. I've had it. It's probably been a while since I had it, but I know when I was driving a truck and there would be a KFC's, I would go there just because it was, a little bit different than everything else that I usually would get. And I didn't have any problem with it. And I'm trying to think if I've had KFC since I've been here in Vegas this last year and a half. I probably have, at least once. I think I've gone to KFC, and I don't have no problem with it. I think Colin says Popeyes was the rage when I worked in Virginia. People just loved it. Yeah, and when they came, we got one in our town in Palmdale. It was a big deal, kind of. I think that might have been the first one there for a while or ever. And we used to eat there, and it was good. But yeah, it's just too much of that breading. That crusty breading stuff, or whatever it's called. Like my music says, I miss the KFC buttered bread they used to serve. And that's the thing about KFC, is now they don't give you butter, those little packets. It doesn't even say butter. It just says like, I don't even know what they call it. They call it like oil spread or something like that. That's the kind of stuff that's a real turnoff. Their mashed potato, they used to be really known for their mashed potatoes and gravy. because I think they used to make like real mashed potatoes, and the gravy used to be nice and thick chicken gravy. I think that's another thing. I think it's just like instant potatoes, probably. I don't know, and the gravy is real watery. So yeah, and on those regards, yeah, they're not as good. But the actual chicken, I don't have a problem with. Although sometimes it can be kind of small, the chicken. But at least it's not all super breaded like that Popeyes. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat. Tim Nelson says, I taught my grandkids the pledge because to me it symbolizes the freedom and unity that it stands. I know, and maybe I was a bit harsh on the Pledge of Allegiance. Like I said, I'll say it now if I'm at a ball game or that's national anthem. But if there's some function and they do the Pledge of Allegiance, I don't have a problem with it. But when I was in school, I was really getting sick and tired of every single day. We would start the day off with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I just was starting to feel like it was just we were just going through the motions, and it was just kind of phony, and we just were doing this to put some show on. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the Pledge of Allegiance, but when it's like mandatory like that in a classroom and they make you do it, you know, it just started rubbing me the wrong way, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, Nolan Workman, a chicken died for us. You don't like my music? KFC's old gravy recipe was the greatest ever. Yeah, I don't think I guess they don't use that anymore. I think once they got sold out to PepsiCo or whatever, it all changed, right? Let's see. Chris Welch says KFC was bought out by Yum Brands went downhill. Okay, I thought it was PepsiCo or something, but they've probably been bought and sold a few times by now, maybe. Michael, hey, there's Michael Arangelski. Thanks for being here, Michael. I haven't seen Michael in a while. It says the pledge is one thing, the Ten Commandments is another. That's true, because the pledge isn't, it's not from the Bible. It's not from a religious book or document or whatever. And that's absolutely true. And I somehow I got on the subject of the Pledge of Allegiance. I didn't mean to really compare those two things, because they are different. It's just the one I just felt like it just felt phony after a while, after doing it for all through elementary school and all through junior high, every morning. It just started to seem like we were just going through the motions, and it was just bullshit. You know, but I'm not against the Pledge of Allegiance, but like I say, it's just I don't need to show you or anyone, you know, I don't need to go through these ceremonies or whatever to try to prove how patriotic I am. That was my feeling then, and to some extent now. But you know, like I said, I've done the Pledge of Allegiance at certain functions, and I feel very. It does make, sometimes it can make you feel very like proud to be an American, to steal from a Lee Greenwood song, I guess, and it can be kind of almost like a that goose flesh or whatever, that those type of deals, but just doing it every single day like that, it just becomes this routine, and you're like, this is bullshit, you know what I mean? You don't like my music. Did you know they used to throw out chicken wings until some genius in Buffalo figured out he could fry them up and serve them to drunk people? I did not know that. I remember that buffalo wings were kind of invented in Buffalo. I think I heard that before, but I didn't hear the thing about that they used to throw them out. Big Hook says Catholicism always believed in negative reinforcement. A lot of knuckle rapping I hear. I never went to a Catholic school, but I heard those nuns could be pretty vicious sometimes with the ruler. on the knuckles. Bomax Enterprises is back. Thanks, Bomax, for coming back. How many times before the pledge sticks? Yeah, really. How many times I gotta do this before I'm considered to be a patriotic American? Am I in the club yet? Am I good? Are we good? Misha says, Big Hook, my dad was an atheist, sent me there for the education and the discipline. Wow. Big Hook, shame was stinging reminder for good measure. Nolan Workman says, patriotism is not the size of your flag. And then have you seen some people, they fly the biggest, hugest flag they can. As though that means anything. You don't like my music? Says, immigrants have to read the Pledge of Allegiance to become citizens. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. Like I said, I think it was just the thing of being in school and doing it over and over and over again, where it just became like this thing that you just do it out of habit instead of out of love of country or whatever. Mish says public shaming as well. TJ, public shaming at the Catholic school. Chris Welch says they wave the flag and thump the Bible to take our freedoms away. Who was it? Was it what was the guy? Was it C.S. Lewis or whatever who said? Or some people say he didn't say it, I guess, but somebody said. What was it? Fascism will come, like waving a flag and holding a Bible or whatever. Something like that. Eileen Kaw, I used to get the ruler on the knuckles for speaking Spanish in my public school. Wow, ouchie. That's not right. Especially in a public school. That's not right at all. Keith Police says the pledges with liberty and justice for all line used to make me wince. Yeah, because, we're learning about, basically the genocide of Native Americans by the U.S. government, no matter what Hal Sparks says. I love Hal Sparks, but we do disagree on certain things. I do believe there was a genocide being carried out against the Native Americans by the U.S. government. And also slavery, which is, I think, a form of genocide. Because the slaves are not considered people. They're considered property that you can do to whatever you wish, including murder them if you want, if it's your property. And if somebody else damaged your property, you could sue them, just like if they damaged your car or your house or something. And then we say, and liberty and justice for all. Now, of course, by the time, we were saying it, slavery had been abolished, and we had civil rights acts and things like that. But we do know that, racism was then and is still. Don't get me wrong. Don't twist my words. I'm not saying that racism has ended, like someone tried to imply earlier in the early show. We know that racism is alive and well in the United States of America. Now, I did say earlier in an earlier show that I think we've come a long way. I think we've made advancements. I think things are better now than they were 100 years ago, or even 50 or 60 or 70 years ago. But that doesn't mean that there isn't still a lot of racism here. I think we don't have the sort of the government institutionalized racism like we did with slavery and like we did with carrying out I'm going to just call it a genocide of Native Americans. I'm still sticking to that. Sinclair Lewis, it's Carrie C, not C.S. Lewis. There you go. I got my Lewises mixed up. And Michael McAngelo's, he weather makes typos. Weather. No typos. Eileen Call, I'm with you, TJ. Nolan Workman. Now, I do agree. Well, I don't need to go off into a whole Native American tangent at this point, since we only have about 1 minute left. Hal is on, Carrie C says. So there's Hal, guys. It's been lovely hanging out with you, but our time has come to an end. This was the Hal Sparks pre-show hangout. This is what it is, folks. I will be back Saturday morning for a Hal Sparks post-show hangout. So when Hal's done with his show, approximately 11 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, we can come right back to the driver's lounge and hang out, shoot the shit. All right, guys. Man, you guys are awesome. 38 watching, 42 thumbs ups. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I think I did some sort of sign language there. Share the show out. Let's get it out. Get it pumped out. If you guys go to Hal Sparks, try to give me a little shout out. Just say Trucker John Raid. This is Trucker John Raid, or just coming over from Trucker John show. Something of this nature would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you over there in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. Again, thank you, you lovely trucklers, for coming on in and spending this time with me. And I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you. All right, guys. Thanks for being here so much. There we go.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. Show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully. Nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about gold chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should've stopped a truck driving. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kick. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John.